paragraph response.
Yes, okay. Well, Honorable Chair, the main query here was about the 6 million that was not actually captured in the financial statements. But this came about because when we collect our revenues...
That is not the main query, because it says further. That is in addition
to the variance.
Yes. In addition to the issues raised on the table. Let's take land rates, for example. Mm-hmm. The Zizi collection record says you collected 10.9 million, but you have reported 2.5 million, resulting in a variance of 8.3 million. One can easily conclude that you collected 10 million, reported 2 million, and pocketed 8 million. So give us an explanation, using land rates as an example, why in Zizi the records reflected 10 million, yet your revenue statements reflected 2 million. That is a question the Auditor General is asking. Or, Patrick, am I asking my own questions?
Chair, that is a position. Because ordinarily, you will expect that the figures in the revenue statement are coming after the client has reconciled all records and primary records that they have kept, including the records in the system, for them now to report the correct figures in the revenue statement. And failure on the side of the management to report the correct figures in the revenue statement means there will be very little reliance on the system they are using to collect the revenue. Thank you, Chair.
So, receiver of revenue, maybe we listen to Senator Nyonka first.
Chair, I feel that this question will be related. The Zizi platform, through you, Chair, I'm asking the CC Finance, who runs it, who manages it, how did they acquire it, and what has been its performance? Has it been successful, or because I'm asking this question because these are issues that are cross-cutting around most of the counties in our republic.
Maybe it is fair, Chair, if I was to write on what Senator Onyonka is saying. It is fair then to know how much was used to procure this particular service.
There is a substantive audit query on in the 2021-2022 report that talks about non-payment of annual maintenance fees for maintenance of revenue collection and management system. I think that can provide us a better entry into the state of that system, so that we first deal with these numbers, then we go to the systems and the processes. Senator Omar.
Yeah, like Madam CC. CEO, okay.
I think in this case, receiver of revenue.
Receiver of revenue. There is a matter that is picked up by the auditor on cess. I thought cess is money that you collect every day, and it should not have a variance. Like what I'm saying here, you cannot account for 77,450. Is it that you have officers who collect this money and pocket it, or it is given to a certain officer who pockets it? How does it disappear? Because this money you are collecting from the poor women selling vegetables, tomatoes, or vehicles crisscrossing the county transporting certain commodities. How does this money disappear? That it forms an audit query that makes our county to have a qualified report.
Maybe if you just allow me 1 minute, Araida. So I would want to also understand whether there is money that is now collected manually. Because if it is not on the Zizi platform, what you have collected, what has been the revenue statement is 4 million. What Zizi has recorded is, is there money that you collect manually?
Okay, all those are general questions relating to the specific matter of figures, because really figures don't lie. So first tell us why you have that 8.3 million difference between Zizi and revenue statement, and then address the other questions.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First, I would like to make a clarification that The variance does not mean that money is lost per se, but I think it is an error in
I think leave
accounting.
the interpretation to us.
Okay.
Just do the explanation.
Okay, well, land rates is one of the examples that you've said that you can use. I see there's a 2.5, but according to this, it was 10. But Honorable Chair, with your indulgence, if you check on property rate, we've recorded 12 million, but according to the system, it is 2 million. I think the variance
Even if you are to put the two together, you still have a gap of 1.6 million.
Yeah, and some other gaps below. But I want to also say, Honorable Chair, that
This is a precise, this is a receipt of revenue statement is a matter of precision. It is not about, you will find the figure there if it is not here. It must be precise. And if that then was the argument, then the total sum on the variance column should be 0. What is the total sum on variance? Because if you are saying that it was accounted for in another line, then the total variation should net off to 0.
The variance is the 6 million.
If you total everything on that variance column, what do you get?
It should be the 6 million.
What is it? What is it?
6 million and 58.
Yes, so that's even if it was 6 million, your argument does not answer the question. Even if you are to take land rates and put it together with property rent, there's still a variance of 1.6. This is a precise exercise. This is not an art. On receipt of revenue, it is a science. For every line, you must provide an explanation because you have just about 13 revenue streams. That is a job of a receipt of revenue for 365 days. Even if you are taking 1 week to explain one revenue stream, you can't tell us a story. You must give us precision in terms of the explanation. Otherwise, we will reach the conclusion that money was collected and not reported. Already the Auditor General has reached that conclusion. Our job as a Senate is to listen to your mitigation so that we agree with them or we vary that position. Receipt of revenue, are you understanding where we are coming from? So give us precise answers on the variances, not speculation.
Maybe before she gives a precise answer, it is not accurate, it is not factual for her to say that the variance is 6 million. It is not 6 million. It is not 6 million. Unless you want us to take a calculator and count, it is not 6 million, it cannot add up to 6 million.
Because the 6 million is another matter flagged by the auditor.
Yes.
Senator.
Chair, through you, the other question I wanted to ask is this question I asked which Madam didn't answer. The system that you're using called ZIZI, how has it been functioning? Has this system been precise, exact? Because the issues you are raising, the issues you are discussing right now of that variance, is it being caused by the system which is not working, or is it being caused by what the chair has raised? Where is this money?
Okay, Honorable Chair.
Maybe Chair, the last one.
Yes, Senator.
I think the receipt of revenue is misleading this committee. Because in her explanation of the 6 million, she says that single business permits are lumped up together, such that even payment of schools is included as single business permit. But looking at your revenue streams, there is SBPS private schools that paid 950,000. So it is not factual to say that the 950 is in 6 million. The first explanation that you gave is not factual.
In fact, I'd like the Secretariat just to work out the total on that variance column, because that then would be the conclusion we are looking at on amounts collected that have not been reported.
Honorable Chair.
Receipt of revenue?
I actually wanted to clarify that ZIZI was being used in 21, 22. We no longer use that system because it was it was not fully automated, and thus the variances starting the financial year 22-23, and that is when the appointment for receiver of revenue happened. Then now we have a different system that works like in real time, and figures you can be able to compare. So Zizi is no longer in use at the county.
Excuse me,
Senator
can you read
Omofre.
can you read the audit query on page 1? Maybe you're not understanding what we are trying to get at. Do you have it with you? The one says basis of qualified opinion, variance between statement and records. Are you there?
Yes.
What is the auditor saying? The statement of receipts, you can read. What is the query there?
The statement of receipts and disbursements reflects on source revenue of 169,976. However, variances noted between the amount in the statement and those in the revenue records that was maintained. There's a variance and there's a table there.
Yeah, now, where is your response? Have you answered? You know, he's talking about figures, money that is missing. And that is the explanation we want to receive as Senate. Now go to page 2 on your management response. Have you explained adequately where that money is or how that money can be accounted for? You've seen management response.
Yes.
What are you saying?
According to the management response, we are saying that the total revenue that was collected in that year was 169 million, and this has also been reflected in the CRF bank statement, and so further the preparation of financial statements and receiver of revenue for the 6 million that is being questioned was utilized, and we've annexed the financial statements to show the 6 million that was being queried.
You know, what we need is an explanation on that variance. Your response does not address that concern. You know, it's about loss of money that is being given in figures. And you have not given an adequate explanation where the figures are not adding up from what you collect and the records that you avail to the auditor.
Honorable Chair, you know, when we collect revenues, first we collect them to a collection account that is in a commercial bank, and then every Friday we sweep that to the CRF account. So by the time the auditors were extracting this financial statement from CRF, the 6 million was not there because it was still at the bank account, which was later swept.
Receiver of revenue, I will help you. I will help you. The line we have selected on land rates, in Zizi you collected 10.9 million, and then you reported 2.5. Let me tell you what you collected under land rates in the financial year 2020-2021. First of all, is it your position that in this financial year you collected 2.5 million as land rates? Is that your position? Receiver of revenue. That in 2021-2022 you received 2.5 million as land rates?
I cannot confirm that except from the attachments in the financial report.
What are the attachments? Because even that attachment has a note that breaks down that revenue stream. So how much was reported under that revenue stream in your financial statements?
Honorable Chair, in the statement of receipts and disbursements for the year ended June, we have 12,321,770 under land rates.
321
770.
770.
Yes.
So why do we have this 2.5 million here? Amount as per revenue statement 2.5 million. Auditor General, where did you pick that amount of 2.5 million?
Thank you, Chair. The financial statements, what we are calling here the revenue statements, is what was disclosed by the county executive. So this is a figure from the financial statements.
But if you go to that note that the receiver of revenue is talking about, this is financial year ended 30th June 2023. Let's deal with 2022, because what you have referred us to is the 2023 financial statement. This is ROR for year ended 2022, isn't it?
Yes.
So, receiver, you cannot refer us to the 2023 report. What you should refer us to is the 2022. So, as at 2022, what was the reported collection on land rates? That's just what we want to find out. What you reported as your collection on land rates. That is an extract for the year ended 30th June 2023.
Actually, Honorable Chair, that is for 21-22. The 12,321,77.
What is the header of that note? Number 6, statement.
Statement of receipts and disbursement for the year ended June 2022.
That's
what
an
I have.
error.
Mine is reading June 2023. Unless there's another one.
No, the one that has 12/3/21 is 2022, Chair.
Let me get to it.
Maybe you need to go to the report of the Auditor General.
Clerk, can you make sure that I'm on the same page? Because we need to be on the same basis. What I have here is receipt of revenue statement for 30th June 2023.
Where are we getting the figure of 2.3?
Did I ask for property or land rates? I asked for land rates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are they? Do you have this which?
So, Senator Matthew, are you seeing land rates anywhere in the 2022 report?
Yes, I'm seeing it as land stroke poor rate. 12 million is the second one after cess.
Clerk, please make sure I have it.
It's the report of the Auditor General on the receipt of revenue.
The year ended?
2022.
Okay, clerk, please help me. Is it in these later pages?
This is 10.
What you're looking at is different.
It's on, is it on page 1?
Which we're auditing is this.
This one. Oh, see,
Oh, okay. The receipt of revenue report.
Property rent.
25. I think there was a mistake in classification.
Land stroke. Forward. Give me this other one. Just for. So, Auditor General, when we have 12 million reported there, how did you come to the conclusion that the revenue statements are 2 million? What was your basis? Because I'm assuming that what you have on the revenue statement column should be what was reported under the notes. Auditor?
Chair, from what I can see, if you look at page 1 of the statement of receipts and disbursements for the year ended 2022, you'll see the amount shown for property rent is under note 4 is 2.5.
Was it the governor then?
It's 2,570,000.
No, that is property rate. We are at land rate. It's 2, not 2.
Yes,
12 million.
12,321,000.
Yeah.
But there's a mix-up of the figures. I'm alerting the committee to the mix-up of the figures. If you look at note 4 under the same statement,
Chair, can you see what was picked up by the auditor? There's a mix-up. You have correctly put it, Murioki.
Yeah, because
What you picked was
causing a
property
problem.
rate, and then you put it as the rand rate. Because the property rate is down, that is 2.570.
yeah, 634.
But you queried the same amount, but at a different revenue stream.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you mix up the basis, then we might arrive at a fairly inaccurate conclusion. But, Patrick,
Equally, Chair, if you look at that table in that report, if you go down, you'll see property rent. The figure quoted then again is 12,321,770, which now agrees with the amount shown under note 4.
yes,
I've just
so,
noted that.
so your basis is a bit misleading. But even if we picked one, you know, it does not take away the variance between the back end and the reports. Or have you also mixed them up?
No, true, Chair. It's true. It doesn't take away the variance, because if you are to add up the figures, you'll see there's a variance of
3,294,998. That's why, Chair, I was
Yes.
saying it is inaccurate for the receiver of revenue to say that the variance is 6 million, because you just interchange what has been put at land rate. You just interchange. The base will remain the same. So it is inaccurate for her to insist that the variance is 6 million. It is not 6 million.
Yeah, the variance still remains.
And it is
But
the
the audit-
specific
yeah.
variance, Chair, is 3.294 million,
3.294.
998. That is the variance.
So, why do we have those differences between the source of data, the source of truth, which is the ZZ collection records, and the financial statements, to the tune of 3.2 million, before we get to the 6 million?
Honorable Chair, I wish to also clarify that this system, when it was in use, it was because there were also aspects of manual collection of revenue, so that it was not fully automated, so that we had instances whereby collections could actually happen off the system.
If that was the case, then
Yes.
your reporting would have been higher than ZZ. In this case, your reporting is lower than ZZ. What you have collected electronically is higher than what you have reported the financial statements.
Is that?
Senator
No,
Mobi?
I'm getting worried. You had subcontracted this Zizi to pay them how much? And what were they meant to do? Did you pay them for services that they never rendered? Because you are now telling us that part of the collection was manual. I thought the intention was to move to automated revenue collection. Was that the contract? Because you are paying 5.5% a commission.
Mr. Chairman,
Governor?
it was both manual and electronic. That's why we discontinued it. It was not giving us good service.
So how much are you paying them?
Governor, there
Yes.
is 3.2 million
Yes.
which was collected on ZZ but was not reported. That cannot be the problem of the system.
Maybe, Chair, to be accurate, it is the other way around.
Is it a negative?
No,
other way
Honorable
around.
Chair,
Which one is higher? This revenue statement?
the
The revenue
manual.
statement
The revenue statement is higher.
is higher with
Yes.
3.2. higher than the ZIZI.
By 3.29.
3.2.
Yes.
Do we have an analysis of where the 3.2 came from? Which revenue streams? Because
Well,
if you're paying 5.5% of this amount of money, then there should be no difference between what sits in the system and your reports. And where there is a difference, the logical thing to do is to withhold payments. Senator Dulo, before the receiver of revenue.
Yeah, I think there's a question that was asked by Senator Mgeni, which has not been answered. And I'm just wondering why is it that the system was automated and part of it is manual? What is the reasoning behind it? Because it should be fully automated. What is the problem? And number two, were you in the office, Governor, then?
Governor?
Yes, I was in office partly because just come in for 6 months.
I think it's on public record you're the deputy governor.
Yes.
Therefore, the deputy CEO. So,
Yes.
so don't do those things people do in Nairobi, where they disown their bosses because their bosses are no longer in office. You know what I'm talking about at the national level? So he was deputy CEO and is currently the CEO. But back to the question about the system. Perhaps we look at the substantive audit matter, then we deal with that as a cross-cutting issue. It was in the report for 2021-2022, where the disclosure was made by the Auditor General that you are paying 5.5% of your collections to a revenue system that obviously does not work. Auditor General, could you just read out that findings so that we deal with these matters in a cross-cutting fashion? I think it was the non-payment of annual maintenance fee for maintenance of revenue collection and management system, page 4 of your report for
Thank you, Chair.
2021.
2022.
No, it's actually on the receiver of revenue.
It's the same report, Chair.
Oh yeah, so
Yes.
it's in both reports.
Yes.
Ah, okay, fine.
Thank you,
Fine.
Chair. Please allow me to read.
just read it.
Thank you, Chair.
It's in the receiver of revenue statement. Sorry.
Yes. Paragraph number 2, non-payment of annual maintenance fees for maintenance of revenue collection and management system. The county government entered into a contract with the local company for supply, delivery, customization, commissioning, and maintenance of revenue collection and management system for a contract period of 3 years from 23rd of May 2019 to 23rd of May 2022. However, as at the time of audit, the county government had not paid the company for 3 years, contrary to Schedule 3 of the contract agreement, which stipulates that annual maintenance fees be computed at a rate of 5.5% of the total revenues collected in the respective quarter. In the circumstances, the county government may incur huge penalties arising from the non-compliance with the contract terms. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, what was your response on that? It's actually on the receiver of revenue statement. It has been duplicated in both. I didn't know it was on the ROR report. So we are still on the ROR report. The issue of the system is there. That is under lawfulness and effectiveness in use of public resources. Yes. Governor, your response?
Chair, I hand over to Minister for Finance to read.
Proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to respond as follows. The management concurs with the auditor's observation that the service provider had not been paid.
Please be audible.
The
Either bring it close to your mouth or bring your mouth close to it.
Management concurs with the auditor's observation that the service provider had not been paid the maintenance fee at the time of conducting the audit. The contract period had been extended to December 2022, and management was in the process of paying the last certificate, then engage the service provider on how to manage the maintenance fee, given that the execution of the contract was delayed. Thank you, Chair. We have an annexure of the letter of the said extension of the contract period. Thank you.
So since this is an audit of past events, have you paid the 5.5%?
Yes, we did, Chair.
For a system which we are now finding was not giving you value for money?
Well, it's in light of the inefficiencies of the system that the county government made a decision to vacate the contract after the extension period. And,
But I thought the 5.5% you'd pay if the system fulfilled its stated objective. So is it an admission that the system fulfilled its objective and the failure was on the part of the county executive?
Chair, the system was intended to fully automate revenue collection system.
Did it?
And the objective was never realized.
Did it meet that objective?
It didn't.
And you are to pay 5.5 if it met its objective?
Well, the 5.5 was based on the amounts corrected by the system, but overall, the entire revenue automation process was not realized, and that's where the provider was vacated. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Dulo?
I'm reading something fishy here. At what stage did they discover that the system was not actually serving the purpose it was intended for? Because you should have actually tested the system before using it to the county. So now you are telling us you discovered much later it was not serving the purpose that it was intended for. So at what stage did you discover that it wasn't serving the objective it was meant to serve?
Yeah, I wish to note that usually any system, when it's rolled out, it takes some bit of time because there was the aspect of data capture, data mapping, and actual collection of revenue via the system. But the issue here was the service provider did not do it at the speed which we anticipated. And it's rightfully so, upon realizing that we were not going to realize full automation of revenue collection, the company or the service provider was vacated.
Honorable Chair.
So maybe as I invite other questions, yeah, because please be precise, don't give us those backgrounds, because one of the things we must establish is that if you paid that 5.5%, how much was it? And how much have you spent on the entire system from development, from initiation, all those processes you're talking about, to the time of last certificate that you are referring to here? Can someone give us that information? Senator Methu.
I just want to tie it up because there is also a substantive matter that has been raised by the Auditor General. Now that you have not paid for that service for 3 years, did you?
He says he has paid.
How much?
And he needs to tell us.
Maybe you allow me, Chair, to just prosecute my point. Now that you had not paid, because by the time of audit, this money had not been paid. It has only been paid now. How much was the interest or penalties that were on these particular fees? Because maybe they paid, yes. Was there any penalties that you paid?
CC, how much did you pay? We want numbers, not a story. How much did you pay? Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I think we paid for other services, but 5.5 is still outstanding. We declined
5.5 million.
percent. They were.
So what did you pay for those other services?
Other services is for equipment and installations.
How much? You see, we want to establish how much did you spend on this system over 3 years vis-a-vis what you collected through it over 3 years. Because this Senate is going to be called upon at some point to endorse the Treasury centralized revenue management system. And we want to carry the experience of Nyamira to that meeting as justification for a centralized system.
You know, Governor, please, who prepared this report? You know, the response from your office says, and you just tabled it, it says, the management concurs with the auditor's observation that the service provider had not been paid, okay, the maintenance fee at the time of conducting the audit. The contract period has been extended and management was in the process of paying their last certificate. So what certificate is this that was being paid? And These guys have been in office since 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. When did the county realize that there is no value for money for the county of Nyamira? That's 4 years.
That's why when they invoiced 39 million, we paid only 19 because of non-performance.
So this 19 was for what?
For equipment, installation, but the commission we didn't pay.
So the commission 5.5 has not been paid?
No.
And will you pay or not pay? Because it is a question that has been raised by the Auditor General. The interest will be on this commission because you entered into a contract with them. And for 3 years, they provided services to your county.
So
when they have raised an invoice, are you paying them or not paying them?
We cannot pay them.
Who collected the money? You said you did manual collection, automated collection. Who was collecting automated collection? Is it the county or the service provider?
We were using their system